Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Do We Have Your Attention podcast. My name is Aisha P, and with me always is
Paula B. Martin.
Woohoo! Yes. And today's episode is something special.
Yes, I'm excited for this one, to be honest with you.
Very, very excited. Do you want to tell them why?
I want to sip my tea first.
Oh, maybe I should sip my water too.
Actually, it's hot water, so.
Sipping hot tea, sipping water, whatever. It all works out. Tell them why today's episode is special, Paula.
We are talking all things modern dating, reality TV dating, and specifically we're referencing the current season of Love Island, Love Island USA to be specific.
Yes, Love Island USA.
Love Island USA season 8 that is currently filming.
Yes.
I'm so excited for this conversation.
I am so excited because watching and just taking notes, preparing for this conversation has been so exciting because I'm like, I gotta write this down. We gotta talk about that. So yeah. But obviously, before we dive into the conversation, how are you feeling today?
Well, we've been shouting excited. So clearly we're feeling excited.
Girl, I guess.
I'm feeling drained by the technological issues that we had. But besides that, I am feeling optimistic and excited that this is going to be a good conversation. So
Agreed.
Hopefully it's going to be worth it.
Agreed. I'm feeling kind of similar. You guys should have seen me 20 minutes before this call. It was not it. Technology, why always stress the girls out? We're literally just girls trying to talk. Why must we go through the stress? But outside the technological issues, I'm feeling calm and excited to talk everything Love Island. So yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
And for our listeners, remember, check in with yourselves, especially because I think we're talking about reality TV. So obviously people are going to feel some type of way. People are going to have their opinions and their thoughts as well about obviously what we're sharing. So make sure to check in with yourselves. Make sure to just understand as well that these are human beings, meaning real life people, real life situations. Yes, some of it is produced TV, but we need to also make sure that we're, I guess, approaching this with kindness as well.
Yes,
realness
for still kindness. Human beings. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. Thanks for that disclaimer. Definitely need to put that out there. So
I want to ask you already, just how are you even feeling watching this season?
You know, compared to last season, it feels a bit lighter and fun. I feel like last season was just from episode 1, I was like stressed out. I'm like, what the hell? What is actually going on? So I think this one is lighter. I think they're definitely like a fun group. So it's really fun, like watching this particular group of people. Again, I'm comparing it to last season. I'm like, they're definitely more lighter and more. They're just a more fun vibes, more cool vibes. Like last season, I feel like they were a lot.
I was quite, to be honest with you, to be honest with you, I was quite traumatized, but not on the minute. But you know when you like in a constant state of being triggered, is kind of how I describe it. Like I saw a side to myself that I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this show again.
Right
after this, and that said a lot. Mm-hmm. But in watching the previous seasons of Love Island when nobody knew about it, and watching this season that is out, I realized that it's the same feeling I had
from before
season 7 came out. I enjoyed watching it. It was so good. It was enjoyable. I really love the casting this year.
I do.
I think the producers shockingly actually listened to the fans and said, okay.
Because last year was a mess. They had to.
To be fair.
Yeah.
And they even set rules as well, which I appreciate, where they already
they turn your comments off and stuff. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think they put a disclaimer this year of like, these are human beings, because people were getting death threats last year. And I'm like...
Yeah, it was a lot.
So, you know, last year was my first time watching USA because I always watch Love Island UK.
And I told you to watch season 6.
And I kept telling you this will be my last last season. I'm going back to the UK because they got their own stress over there. But I never expected such intensity.
Yeah, I promise you when I say all the other seasons of Love Island USA are not like season 7, especially season. You've not watched season 6 yet. I've watched season 6 twice.
Wow.
Maybe even 3 times.
I don't know how. I don't like
I trust me when I say that is a season that you should watch. The level of realness from the cast members, but also seeing how they could navigate relationships romantically and platonically.
Right.
Was probably the best I've ever seen on a reality TV show.
Oh, nice.
Amazing to see. But yeah.
I'm gonna put it on it's still on my watch list, but I have like 50 reality TV shows I'm watching.
We're on season 8. No, we're not trying to discredit season 8. Season 8.
That's true. We're on season 8.
So a couple themes that we already were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Based off of what we're watching and what we're noticing from reality TV dating, but even modern dating. I think it's so parallel of what modern dating today looks like, or modern day dating rather looks like, which is why we're even talking about this. And we know people have different opinions about reality TV and whatnot, and I think that sometimes there's very much so things or themes that can be picked up from shows like Love Island, whether it's trying to be chosen and how the idea or even obsession with being chosen can keep you stuck.
Agreed.
Whether is saying, how do you put this? Talking about yourself, but your actions very much so being misaligned with what you're saying. Like your words and your actions are misaligning. Whether is multi-dating. I think that's a common one.
Yes.
Are we open? We're open, we're closed. We're open, we're closed. Like, how do you navigate being able to experience other people romantically in a healthy, mature way with boundaries without having to jump ship, so to speak, or without feeling threatened? There's so many themes that we've been thinking about, so I don't even know where would you like for us to start?
I think we can start with the choosing part, because I think the show starts with being chosen in a sense where you get to pick your partner, you get to pick who you're going to couple up with. And I think literally from that moment, that starts up a whole thing of stress for a lot of people, because like we saw this season, 2 people had chosen to couple up with Sincere, but he ended up choosing one person.
Yes.
Leaving Anaya.
Sincerely.
Sincere. I got words for you, son. Like they but that on the side. So I think we should start from there, because from the beginning, you're literally being chosen to couple up with someone. And I think that does start to create you start to see basically a lot of themes related to like self-esteem, values, feeling like, oh, people don't choose me, they want to choose me, how people's actions show up, chemistry versus compatibility, all of those things start coming up from that moment. So I think we could definitely start from that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So how do we know when we're trying to actually truly, or no pun intended, when we're trying to sincerely connect?
Oh my God.
When we're trying to sincerely connect with someone versus trying to convince them?
That's such a good question. I think when you're trying to genuinely, sincerely connect with someone, you're being your natural self, and you're not only being your true self, you're trying to genuinely know the other person, right? So in connecting, you're like, this is who I am, but I'm also learning this person. Are we compatible? What do I like about them? What don't I like about them? I think convincing is more like you trying to show parts of you that you think would make you more attractive and make you more desirable for them. So maybe if I looked a certain way, maybe if I talked about a certain topic, maybe if I do certain things that I feel like they would like in a partner, then you're trying to perform them. You're basically performing and trying to show them a part of you that may not be true. Not to say you don't do those things, but you're extra performing and being repetitive with that performance rather than just being your authentic self.
Yeah.
You cannot connect if you're not your authentic self, is what I truly believe, because for there to be like a real connection, they actually have to like who you are, right? So that's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think that with connection comes more of curiosity and you leaning into to learn about someone, to get to know them, to know more about them.
Yeah.
Whereas with obviously convincing comes a little bit more performance and comes more in authenticity. And sometimes as human beings, we don't think who we are authentically is good enough.
Yeah.
And we mirror a lot of what we receive from other people.
That's true.
An example of that being, let's say, what's her name? Kenzie. Love Kenzie. I think you and I, we talk, when I talk about Kenzie, in our private conversations, I say, Kenzie is just Kenzie.
Yeah.
That's how I describe her.
Yeah.
Kenzie is just Kenzie. I remember a few conversations that she was having with people earlier, and I think maybe Bryce was one of them, and there was someone else, where she's like, me too. You like that? Me too. This is what, let's say I love
hip-hop
or something like,
right.
Me too. There's a lot of me too. And it's not saying that these are things that she may not enjoy.
Right.
It's more so around being able to allow space to learn and be curious about someone without sort of convincing yourself or convincing them to connect in that way of like saying me too, so to speak. So an example, obviously the flip side of that can be Bea and Sean when they had the conversation about country
music
and she's like, I don't listen to that. I don't mess with country music. But it's not that necessarily I am judging you per se, but more so like, that's you, this is me. I appreciate that you have appreciation for this thing. Does not mean I have to have appreciation for that thing.
Because you like it, and I'm trying to couple up with you or make sure that you choose me. I guess. Yeah, basically. So those are actually great examples. And speaking of, being chosen and feeling stuck when you're being chosen, have you ever noticed or experienced yourself becoming more interested in someone after that they are unavailable? So for example, like I feel like there's a theme on the show where people are clearly getting coupled up and getting closer and building a stronger connection. And then there's that one annoying person that's like, I want to get to, it's like, what is going on? But I know it's a love show and it's a dating show, so obviously you do have to explore, but just thinking about it outside the real world, is that like something realistic that could happen? And personally, is that something that you've done when you're like, you see somebody definitely removing themselves and you're like, wait, I like this challenge, I wanna.
Not me today. Sure, a younger version of myself absolutely saw it as a challenge, which already tells you that it's driven by ego and nothing else. Or a younger version saw it as a threat, meaning from like an attachment style point of view, right? For someone who's anxiously attached, who connects with someone who is avoidantly attached, the more they go, the more you're like,
you're like, I'm gonna get you.
From that place of, I guess if you want to call it scarcity, so to speak, right? Where there's a lack of something within you that it almost increases the desire to feel that void. I do think that especially if you're someone who really relies heavily on external validation, it's very easy for you to find yourself trapped with this dynamic of connecting with people who oftentimes are emotionally unavailable.
I agree. I definitely agree. I've never done that, because one thing I have is shame. I don't like when people I don't like being disgraced.
It's more like pride.
I know. I know.
Shame is also a good one.
I'm like, but if I do it and then they still don't, you get, like, I still don't choose me. A part of me will want to believe like, if I tried hard enough, I could pull this. But listen.
But you see now what you just said. I will say mine now is the opposite, right? Where, and that's what I always say, it's a younger version, but also a toxic side of myself. I'm aware of that. Where I have so much confidence in myself that I don't even need to try hard. I can get to you if I want.
Okay, period.
Notice how a lot of the people as well, when they experience rejection, especially if there are people contestants, I don't know, people, the contestants on the show,
Villa members,
when when they experience rejection, especially for someone who is not used to that type of rejection, right, used to getting what they want, it hits them harder, because now there's a pressure cooker of coupling up. They see other people coupling up. They have a front row seat on everybody else's relationship. And then I'm in a place where I'm like, wait, but I never had issues with getting guys or girls or whatnot. Now I'm here and I have to like do the work to actually get to know you and see if we connect. And it emphasizes a lot of that inner need to be chosen, or can also be something that very much can obviously incites your, let's be real, the egotistic side that we all have as humans.
Right. All your self-esteem, worth, confidence, everything just is put on the table. Like, dang, is this me?
But I'm not lying, that was me though. When I was younger,
I love that you
I literally was like, I didn't even have to sweat when I was interested in someone. Oftentimes I think there was something about the way I felt, at least my understanding. I know I am someone who is a naturally confident person.
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't really take much. Eye contact. I know I want to get to the person. I also think because I am someone, and you and I have talked about it a little bit, being people who know how to connect, because as therapists, we have to learn how to relate to people and actually listen and actually create space for them to just be them. That in itself as well sometimes can make it easy, because everybody wants to be seen, to be fair.
Agreed,
loved, but at the same time, the red flag, like you said already, is the emotional unavailability.
Yes. You're not, so it's just like you said, it's just for you, for your ego. I did that. I thought about it, I wanted it, and I got it. What next? Okay.
So let me ask you, like, what do you think would happen, if contestants focus less on the idea of do you like me? Does this person like me? And they focus more on, do I actually like them? And how do I feel around them? Do I like how I'm feeling when I am with them? Because you notice there's a lot of, does he like me? Does he this? There's a lot of putting the responsibility on the other person to know how that person feels. That happens a lot on these shows, where people don't necessarily put that responsibility on themselves.
Right.
Because you that is going to date them, so you need to also know how you feel. Like, what do you think will happen if contestants actually did that?
I think everything would change, and there would be more stability, honestly, in most of these relationships, and less performance, and you're going to be more yourself, because you're going with confidence, but with also authenticity of knowing what you want. You're choosing. And I feel like that's the mistakes that especially women I see make when they're dating. It's like, we think about it like we're being chosen, not like we're also choosing. Something I tell my clients, I'm like, listen, don't let that man play in your face, because you're also choosing. You're a baddie too. So you don't have to like sit around me waiting for this man to choose you. You're fine. I'll go outside. So I think a lot will change, because you're that confident in knowing that at the end of the day, I'm thinking about the values, the characters, the things that I want in a relationship. And if it doesn't match, it wouldn't like hurt. It would be like, it would be annoying, because I know there's that pressure to couple up and like find your person. But I also think it would be like more of like an easier process where you get to eliminate, right? You do a system of elimination and kind of focus on the people that you genuinely feel connected to, or the people that you genuinely know are compatible with you. I guess more of a thing of, you get to also see like excuse me, my voice is cracking up because I'm passionate. I'm so passionate.
Anytime
you get to see the compatibility and know that you're compatible rather than focusing on other things that yes are important but not as important like that. So
yeah.
let's focus on like physical attraction. Let's focus on the performative things. Oh, he made me breakfast. Everybody else is doing that. What else is this person doing that you actually value? How else are they showing up for you in this connection that makes you feel like, yeah, that could be my man one day?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking a lot right now. So you see my face. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want us to be specific.
Okay.
What do you think would happen if a contestant like Melanie, and by the way, shout out to Melanie, our Philly girl.
Okay, shout out Philly.
We have to shout out Melanie because I don't think there's many Philadelphians. I'm not seeing many Philadelphians on Love Island.
Representing Philly, Melanie.
For the Northeast or
Listen, we're only shouting out the representation. I don't know that I support.
Okay, so now let's start with Melanie. What do you think would happen if Melanie focused a lot more on sincere liking her and focused a lot less on sincere liking her, right? Approval and acceptance from him, and actually started to reflect more on how she feels around him,
right?
How he's making her feel, how his actions and his behaviors are sort of making her feel. And you remember she talked about familiarity at the beginning. And as soon as I heard her say familiarity, I already was like, that familiarity is really toxic.
Yep. I was like,
sometimes familiarity, we see it as a thing that we're normalized to, but have you asked yourself, what am I normalized to? So what do you think? Specifically with their dynamic, I think they're an excellent example to use in this case.
That is true. I definitely think if Melanie focused on herself, she would have less crash outs. She would have a clearer head and actually be able to explore other connections. Because one thing I noticed about their connection, though, is that they kind of went straight into husband and wife mode. And I called it from the beginning. It was kind of like what you said. Oh, this is familiar. Oh, I like him. He likes me, whatever. It was never, it was nothing real. You could just tell that it was surface level, which is why when other things started to show up, like whether like a bombshell came in, like Katie, or let's say they did like one of those, there are many, what do you call those things?
Kada.
No, not Kada. I mean, the challenges, like when they do challenges and they start asking questions and it starts to show things about the person, then you're like, oh, okay, right? But those things will not surprise her if she's actually focusing on herself rather than focusing on a sense of familiarity, 1, focusing on 2, being chosen, 3, focusing on, oh, he likes me and the way he treats me versus the other girls, I feel special. Any man could do that. Any man could really do that. We're on a love show. Every man is doing that. I don't see y'all having healthy conversations, really getting to know each other. Every time they talk, all I literally hear is, I like you back, kiss.
And to be fair, like we know, like obviously producers show us what they want to show
I know. I was about to say, I know they are cutting specific things. Yes.
But I understand exactly what you're saying about it being surface level.
Yes, because then when you do see them even communicate, you could tell that from the beginning there was no communication. So that's just what I think. If I the whole thing, what do you think?
Absolutely. And like I think we can also sort of bring this in with this idea of letting your actions show versus telling. Because if we looked a lot at Sincere's actions and not his words, I think it's very clear that there are very much so concerning red flag behaviors there. So I'm thinking about it, right? If let's say Melanie actually checked in, a lot of what we see from her is anxiety because the inconsistency, the destabilization, and the lack of security, the lack of actual true reassurance, the inconsistency in his behaviors and his actions is sort of inciting anxiety. A lot of that fight or flight mode. Notice there's very fight, freeze, fawn. She's dysregulated.
My baby girl.
And I feel for her to an extent because there's obviously the self-accountability there. And I think that if there were a lot more questioning of why am I feeling this way, especially early on too, why
Only
why
a
when
week.
I'm with him, I feel maybe confused a lot. I think I'm reassured, but I actually feel confused.
Feel
Like the
confused,
reflection to
right,
how do I feel about this person?
right.
What are his actions saying about him? I think there is a lot of difference in how she would be moving versus how she's moving now. But because of that familiarity, there's still a little bit of
This is
normalization
normal, right,
around toxic
right,
behaviors. And I remember she
right,
saying something like, I'm used to men being like this, I'm
right,
used to men being like that. And
right.
sometimes that really skews how we, I guess, how we look at a new situation where
Mm-hmm.
we inform a lot of what we are normalized to into that situation, and then it repeats itself. And that's pretty
Agree.
much what is happening
I
right now.
agree. Because even like in the beginning where there wasn't that much inconsistency, where he genuinely seemed to be trying before the
Yeah.
bombshell came, um, you could see that I don't even remember what happened, but you could just see her spiral into self-sabotaging where
Yeah.
saying all those anxieties started coming up and she didn't really give a moment to focus on her and like, what do I need? How am I feeling in this connection? What is making me feel this way? It went
Yeah.
straight to reacting, like you said, right? The
Yeah.
fight flight response immediately. But honestly, as I was thinking this now, can we talk about how friends play a role in this? Because there's a lot of
Oh.
like advice.
Oh, I've been having conversations about this with friends of mine. Let's get into it. I'm listening.
I'm like, how do your friends play a role into feeding your delusion? One, two,
Not feeding your delusion.
because sometimes I'm like, what is happening? Not to be too harsh on them because it's so easier to talk from outside than when you're inside. So
Yes.
I shout out to them for putting their vulnerabilities out there.
Absolutely.
So I do think, what do you think about the roles your friends play into one, holding you accountable, not holding you accountable, leading you in a direction that's obviously self-destructive, and being scared of telling people, especially when they're coming to you with relationship advice,
Yeah.
whether platonic or friend wise,
Yeah.
like maybe you are wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blind leading the blind.
I am going to reference Anaya when we're
Yes,
talking about
Anaya,
this.
our therapist, love my girl though. I
Love my girl, but girl, you don't have to.
Anaya,
It's
girl.
okay. Let them walk into the consequences of their own actions.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is a way to actually truly love someone. And you show up for them. You don't judge them when they do that. You
Yeah.
support them. You also tell them the truth. You hold them accountable with love. That is what it means to show genuine support in relationships or friendships. I also know that they're being watched.
Yes.
And I know that, and I'm not saying this is what is happening. I'm just looking at the history, right, of dating on shows like this, where oftentimes the Black women showing up authentically as themselves can cause a very, what's it called? It can cause a very, it can be a hit or a miss experience, right?
Yeah.
Where oftentimes the Black women are really the mirror on them is so heightened in a way where sometimes they feel like they have to mask. Now, the flip side of it is, I do think, if I'm being very honest, that she is not being honest.
Anaya.
She's feeding into the delusion. And I remember they were all joking at the beginning saying, when I'm being delusional, make sure you tell me. I'm like, Anaya, remember that you said that.
Right. Tell her. And you know what? Some part of it to me, sometimes I'm like, is it that they genuinely believe that? Or is it that they're just scared to hold their friends accountable?
Okay.
But sometimes I'm like, I can't really tell if they genuinely believe it or they're just too scared to say. I know there's some instances it's very evident that they're scared to say the truth.
Yeah.
But there's some other instances where you genuinely can see that they truly believe, like if they went
like that table conversation.
Yeah. Like what
remember the conversation when they asked about Sincere and Mel's relationship, and Bea was like,
this is not healthy.
The communication is terrible on her part. And I do agree with Bea and Anaya that their communication on both ends is horrible because Sincere continuously keeps lying.
Yep.
He continuously keeps
not sincere, my boy.
half truth. he continuously keeps being insincere.
Insincere.
And he continuously keeps playing in her face, literally.
Legitimately.
And I sense rather that there's a possibility that because he has seen her, he's afraid of her reaction to what
he is afraid.
He's now, afraid does that give you a right to be lying to someone? Hell no.
That's what just want to doing, point
that out there.
Yeah.
Does that give you? And it made so much sense when I heard him talk about his family being the oldest and being the one who feels like he needs to push his feelings aside to make accommodations for everyone.
Yeah.
But to the point where your people pleasing is actually manipulative behavior.
Yeah.
Your people pleasing is now harmful behavior. Toxic. That's when you draw the line, because you're not helping anyone or protecting anyone.
Right.
You're actually helping yourself.
Right.
By being, to be fair, you're not helping yourself by being not
because it's still gonna bag you in the butt. It's still gonna.
But you're not helping anyone. You're actually putting people in positions where they don't trust you.
Exactly. You're not a trustworthy person.
Your actions, nothing holds value anymore.
Nothing.
But I also think that having a good supportive friend is so needed, and that's one of the reasons why I really appreciated Bea. Yeah. I understood that some people might feel like she's quite polarized. She's been very direct. Honest.
Yeah.
Like, she's very honest about a lot of why she's the way she is, and it makes sense, the background.
It does make sense, yeah.
But I really appreciated that, even though, yes, some may say the delivery and whatnot, I think that her directedness is also needed in that kind of environment. Because a lot of people seem to be a lot more agreeable as friends. Like, oh yeah, I don't see, what do you mean? They are great together. I really look up to their relationship and this and that and whatnot.
No, you don't.
And I really like when people are able to take your friends aside and say, have you asked yourself this question, Mel? Is this what you want for yourself? Does this make sense for you long term? Take out familiarity and all of these things. If he's showing up like this already, how do you think he would show up in a year? How do you think he'll show up in 2 years?
It's too
That's
early.
not harsh. That's real.
It's too early. Yeah. It's too early. I think it's too early for all this toxicity. But then I was talking to my friend about it. I was like, they're literally around each other all the time. So it's definitely times 10 of what a normal dating would look like. But yeah, your friends need to hold you accountable. I don't love hearing feedback all the time, but it's always nice, because why would your friend want to hurt you? And I wonder if that's what is harder for this type of scenario, where you're just learning these people as well as platonic friends. And I have this, and I don't know why. I'm not gonna put my hands up and just say I don't know why, but there's a part of me that's also like, women sometimes think feedback is coming from a place of competition, especially on a show like this.
Yeah. In real life too.
Well, yeah.
I actually think in real life too.
I had a strong feeling where it was like, especially when, who came in? Who was the bomb? Corbin? Was it Corbin? When Melanie was blocking.
Oh, yes.
It was when Bea gave that feedback. There's some part of me that I don't know what it was, but I could just sense that part of why Melanie couldn't receive that feedback was because of competition. Like, I was just doing what I had to do because this is why we're on the show, rather than, yes, it could be competition, but at the same time, we're all trying to be friends and we're all trying to be respectful. Doesn't mean have to be respectful about it, right?
Yeah.
So I think part of why she could go ahead.
Sorry, now I'm with you.
Yeah, so I think part of why she couldn't receive it was, one, I also think nobody really holds her accountable in her private life. That's just to decide. Two, I think because this is a competition for them, clearly, and with the way, like what we were just saying earlier of, women, like, if I want this person, I'm gonna get them, whatever mindset. Once you see other people doing the exact same thing, it's so easy to kind of like dismiss that they're there as well and focus on your own goal. But that at the same time, we're still supposed to be friends. It's a very weird environment.
And I think there's validity to it. At the same time, it's not.
Yeah.
Two things being true here again, where I do think that some women, not all, right, some women do actually feel as though they need to compete.
Yeah.
And we understand that is rooted in patriarchy, misogyny, and obviously the reality of what it means to be a woman marginalized in this world. However, it starts to show up, right, in this dating, especially heteronormative dating dynamics, where we're all performing for the attention of a man. And if you notice, the women, there's an unspoken thing I noticed in the villa, where, and not just this season, even previous seasons, where they wait for the men to tell them how they feel before they say how they feel.
Yeah.
I'll shout out what's her name, Kada, because I think Kada is someone I noticed that Kada is less fixated on how the other person feels and is comfortable expressing herself and saying, like, I like you, or I see you as a friend, or like, do you see this as something? Is comfortable initiating a lot of that. And there seems to be this thing of like putting the responsibility and the onus on the guy. I'm not gonna know, let me know first how he feels, let me know, I feel very confused.
Being careful, fear of rejection. Yeah,
exactly, like the fear of rejection. And sometimes too, that can play a role in the competitiveness that happens.
Yeah,
where instead of exercising your own agency and autonomy over how you feel, what you want, what you need, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, there's a lot of that observing and then showing up in a way where it maybe makes you more favorable than the other person. But I absolutely agree. I think that underlying competition to in an environment like this, unfortunately, it can highlight that for women, where we're comparing ourselves to one another, feeling as though the conversation between Bea and Melanie, when they were trying to repair and talking about how I admire that you hang out with boys. And like you're athletic. And
that conversation was weird.
That conversation was that I feel like that can be a 1 hour conversation.
No, seriously, it literally was. I was cringing in my seat. Like, what is happening here?
I understood what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I think it speaks volumes of how women are actually viewed in society.
Agreed.
That if you are a woman who presents a lot more on the masculine side, you are seen as not feminine enough. But really you just have attributes like maybe you're outspoken, you're strong in the sense you're athletic, you're someone who's more so in a male dominated field. It's almost seen as a threat to masculinity, or men being able to show up authentically within their own masculinity, that you have to be on the other end of being pretty and being agreeable and being malleable and being someone who's able to be molded and folded into whatever way in which that pleases the man. And I think there's a little bit of that Mel does demonstrate. That absolutely actually seems to be harmful more to her with her dating options than the opposite.
Right. Totally agreed.
I want to ask you though.
Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of which, because I think we're also kind of talking about this without realizing that we are, this idea of falling in love with someone's potential versus reality. Has that ever happened to you?
Done that.
I'm asking like I don't know.
I was about to say, what are you asking me? I fall in. No.
You had a flashback?
Let me be serious. No, I'm falling into potential because as a natural person that's curious and understanding, I love to see people and accept them for who they are. Now, double that as a therapist. All I see is potential. All I see is better versions of people. All I see is, I just know you could be a different person. You could be right now. You're like, there's anything horrific about you, but I'm just saying you could be a better functioning person. And I think that once that clicks for me, and plus them actually doing things to show that potential a little bit, I'll hold on to that and be like, well, you see, they did that, so there's hope. Baby girl, stand up. There's no hope. There's no hope. Wait, there's no hope for anybody that doesn't want hope for themselves. You cannot change anybody, because you can keep telling people about their potential, you can keep validating, you can keep encouraging them, but if they don't want that baby girl. But what? Guess who suffers for it? You. Because they are the one that will be disappointed. Yeah. The one that would still go back to their normal behavior that they're comfortable with, that they're familiar with. And so you're the one that gets hurt. They'll be sleeping well at night. And then there's me.
Yep.
What is happening? I know this person could be different. What's happening?
Yep.
Mind you, the person is there snoring, having a blast in their sleep.
Yep.
And I think if we're relating this back to the island, a lot of the islanders are falling in love with potential.
Yeah.
And I think potential deludes you from seeing the real people, seeing their authentic self, because you're too focused on what could be rather than what is real. Like, what is this in front of me right now?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I really wonder why, as human beings, we idealize a lot, we romanticize a lot. We don't. To be fair, some people feel like reality sucks.
And it's real, right?
Reality sucks. Because if you were going to look at reality is that Sincere is emotionally immature and not ready for what it takes to be a good partner.
Right?
Does not understand that yet.
Yeah, he's still
reality is that Melanie also has a lot of introspective work, deep work to do,
very deeply,
in also understanding why romantic love, so to speak, there's so much attached self-worth and value with that, right? There's a lot of her self-worth that seems to be attached to romantic love in a way where it can be a lot more harmful to her, and there's a lot of that reflection that needs to happen. Reality is that Kenzie does not know what she wants. Let me tell you about Kenzie.
Let me tell you about Kenzie. She's my least favorite islander, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Say more.
And I'll tell you why. Kenzie is a white woman, girl, blue eyes, blonde hair, that this is her first time being a minority in that space.
Yes. I actually really love that about this season.
I love that about this season. But her reactions to everything is so evident as to how majority white people live this world. They're so privileged that they can, because her reactions to a lot of things is almost like first experience. You can see that it's first experience that normal people of color would have experienced.
Yeah, she's from a small town, right?
She's also from a small town in Georgia.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, from even the way she talks about the boys and the way they give her attention, you could just tell, like, back from where she's coming from, she's Elizabeth. People love her. People want her. People chase her. So coming there and experiencing the opposite, seeing her reaction live, I think is quite funny, but I think it's quite sad at the same time, because you could just tell that it hasn't clicked for her. It's not clicking for her. I think in her mind, she's kind of still playing victim. Like, why is this happening to me? You could just tell. And then she made a statement where she was like, when a new bombshell came that's also blonde and whatever, white, and she was like, there's not a lot of us blondes over here. I didn't find that funny. I thought that was a very weird statement to
like, there's an ignorance to the way in which she's navigating the villa. But honestly speaking, are we really surprised by that? I think that if you put a white person, let alone, especially a white person who's not grown up in a culturally diverse racially diverse environment, because I think about, let's say, people that I know or clients that I work with who very much so represent more of maybe the Kenzie types.
Right.
And then the ones who were maybe like born and raised in Philly their whole life.
Hey,
you see where I'm going with that? That there is a difference where some of those people are able to navigate those spaces very easily in a way where she isn't.
Yeah.
And I'll give her a little bit of credit as someone from a small town who probably this is the most exposure she's ever had in her life.
Fair enough.
That is a really new experience, but it also tells you a lot as to why exposure is important.
Agreed.
Learning and educating yourself is important. You can do that even from
from your small town,
your small town and in your home.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we talk about objectification of women by men. I did feel to some degree that there was a lot of sexualizing the men of color, the men who appeared foreign, the men who appeared ambiguous, racially ambiguous and
right.
in a way where that wasn't flattering. And I think I used April as an example, but more so in a way where it's clear and evident that this is not someone that you would marry or build a relationship with or whatnot, that you would still most likely go to your type, which is fine because that's your type.
Agreed,
right?
Yeah.
But then in a way where that didn't really show a real curiosity to learn about that person. Versus like, oh, you speak Spanish, oh, you speak this, oh, you speak that,
you're from Brazil,
very sexy, oh, when you say this to me in bed and all of that stuff, right? I think like that is probably a little bit of what you're saying, that some of those ignorance comes up. I do think that is expected, especially in a pretty, like, I think a lot more than half of the cast are people of color in some shape or form.
That's true.
It tells this year at least.
Yeah.
And I love that because it flips the script as well. And shout out to the producers or whoever came up with this idea as well. I think it really shows you as well how, I don't want to say, but just the experience that is not the experience of the everyday person of color, right? True. Where you're the majority and not the minority in this situation. Yeah. But yeah, I get that though. I really do. Yeah.
I think, well, I don't know. Maybe because now I'm more around a lot of people like that since I live in a small town. It's just very seeing you on TV as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll be able to speak more to that.
Yeah, like this is just more of what I get to experience every day in my life, where also you can't even say it to them because they just don't get it. It's not like clicking for them unless they're actively doing the work or actively curious, like what you said. But I'm not saying that from Kenzie. I think she's too focused on playing the victim.
Yeah.
Most white people do.
Yeah, and she has options. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, she still has options, and she's still playing the victim with the options. Like, just be pissing me off. I'm like, Kenzie, what's the problem? And her most excited is like, 2 boys like me, nah. I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I think also when you're someone who possibly your standard of beauty has been the standard of beauty,
right,
the environment that you're in, that's switch of this person can like many different people and be attracted to many different people, and it does something. You can see, like you said, the wheels are turning in her head, and we're watching it in real time,
right?
Which is very the one thing I will give her credit for is that she's multi-dating.
Yes,
out of everybody,
to
she some really degree is. Yeah, she's multi-dating, but also not fully in a way that is as like dysfunctional or unhealthy as, let's say, for example, Sincere in his mind is multi-dating, but Sincere is just being insincere. You get where I'm going with that? Where with Kenzie, there's an honesty to which
there's transparency.
Thank you. There's a transparency to which she's going about it. That is a lot more different. I would say that I noticed there's a little bit of that closed off mentality. And I don't know if we can talk about that. These threats that people have. And even in real life dating, I see that happening so often. Where people meet someone and like immediately you don't allow yourself experience other people and actually date multiple people to learn more about yourself.
Learn more about yourself and them. Yeah.
Like, do you think exclusivity is earned? Is it assumed? Why do you think people oftentimes find it difficult being able to date multiple people
at the same time? Because I think people are too focused on getting into relationship than actually working to get into said relationship. Everybody just wants that label. It's like when I finally decide that I want to be in a relationship or I want to be with someone, I think people focus too much on getting to that goal that they forget that the whole process of getting to the goal.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you cannot meet someone and you're like, boom, like, yeah, this is my person. But if
Yeah.
you're saying like you want to be dating, you
Yeah.
actually have to date. And I love
Yeah.
this is one thing I always respect about men. They will do that. Men will
Yeah.
date
They'll
multiple women.
just some of them would do that disrespectfully,
But
but they
yeah,
will
now
do
let's talk
that.
about the respect part, man. Because you're being
I think people
disrespectful.
oftentimes think that the only way to multi-date is to lie. Like the only way to go about is by lying or is by
Yeah,
being disrespectful or dishonest. So please let's talk
yeah.
about that.
No, healthy dating is being honest with the people that you're dating. Like right now, I am dating, I'm getting to know multiple people. Whatever that looks like, that means we're exploring by going out on dates, we're going on adventures, and strictly because I'm trying to find who's the most compatible with me and who would make the
Yeah.
most sense for me. Now, I don't know why people, well, I know why, but it's so hard for people to say that because I think we're too worried about hurting people's feelings
Yeah.
rather than engaging in behaviors that still end up hurting people's feelings.
Yeah.
Like I would rather I
Yeah.
know that this is and take the dating seriously if I really like you than
Yeah.
feeling like you're carrying me along, like what sincerity
Yeah.
doing, and then dumping me at the end saying, "No, it's not you, it's me." No, yes, you're
Yeah.
right, it's you, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not okay. What do you think? Because I feel like yes, I think men do this and they're not very respectful about it, and I just wish more women. I think
And
traditionally,
even some women too as well do that too.
yeah, that's true. But
I
I think traditionally women have been um taught that they should date only one person and focus on that person and then get married to that person. I
Yeah,
don't
because it
know.
goes back to the chosen. I think
Yeah,
also there's that what you just
that
said makes so
conditioning,
much
yes,
sense.
that's the word
Exactly.
I'm
There's
looking
a
for.
conditioning there of being chosen that makes you focus more on being appealing to this one person than finding who is appealing to you,
To
so to
you, right?
speak.
And then you now start doing all the performance and all those things.
Yeah.
And you're now too focused on this person and trying to mold yourself into that person rather than still getting to know that person, but getting to know
Yeah.
other people as authentically as it
Yeah.
is for you.
I love multi dating.
As we should. I
I
love
love it.
motivating too.
I think it's such a
It's such eye opening and you get
is
to
it
learn so much
is
about yourself in that
it
process as
is
well
it
because
is.
how you are, and I love how we were talking about how you feel around people. You get to see how you feel with different people, and sometimes you're like not this one, not this one, because this other person, when I'm with them, this is how I feel, not how they're showing up. Nobody, that's important too, but like when you think about how you're feeling, you just get that sense of variations from dating multiple
Yeah.
people, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all for multiple dating. Please don't.
I like it, and I like it especially when it comes from a place of respect, boundaries, communication, honesty. And I've always been someone who was a multi-dater. I think there's maybe been one or two relationships of mine where I met the person, maybe just one that I think of, at least an adult relationship that I met the person and it was only them. Like I went straight into being exclusive, dating them, being in an official relationship with them. Most times not. And it's probably why a lot of people never ended up being my boyfriend.
Yep. Because yeah, because you are learning them.
No, I'm just being honest. Like when I actually think about it, I don't think my brain then knew that that was why. I think my adult brain today is like,
Oh,
that's probably why.
yeah.
I think one of the things that did frustrate me as someone who did multi-dating, if you want to call it that, was even with my honesty, it didn't mean that the other people were going to be honest. Like I noticed that even with me being honest, transparent, being respectful,
Yeah.
people still felt like they needed to be dishonest or not
Right.
transparent or lie.
Right.
Which now in hindsight, I think then obviously my younger brain thought like, something wrong with me. No, then now in hindsight, I'm just realizing that, that was just a dishonest person.
Yeah. It's really
That
it's
had
really
nothing
them.
to do with you. So I can see how for some people, they don't want to deal with that. I can see how for some people, they're like, why would I deal with that where I am showing up authentically, but then you still keep being dishonest with me? But I do think that the purpose of it is to really get to know yourself, your wants, your likes, your non-negotiables, your negotiables, what you can tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate.
Yeah.
It teaches you so much about yourself,
It really
but it
does.
also allows you to experience yourself through the lens of other people in a way where, say, for example, if you're only experiencing yourself through the lens of one person, you can start to let that influence how you feel and how you think about yourself. But if something about you that this person doesn't necessarily see or value, that it's being valued here, it allows you go like, oh, this is something that actually is important for me to, I guess, for people to value in me,
right?
At least a partnership, so to speak.
Right.
So I'm definitely all for it. I think, of course, there's semantics on the island where the rules and whatnot of the game sometimes puts people in a position where people start judging those who aren't coupled up.
Yeah.
People who start judging those who are. I remember Soul, who said, like, we're not all boyfriend and girlfriend here. We're still getting to know each other. And I was like, tell them, girl.
Tell them, girl.
Tell them, because these people are moving like
you're
that.
Supposed to be here to explore. Yeah. They're supposed to be here to explore. And all these islanders acting like they are married from day one is really pissing me off, because you're basically just zoning the other people as friends without actually checking compatibility. Like, how do you know that you're not compatible with somebody else because you're deciding
that part
is the hill you want to die on? You literally only had one conversation with this person and you're like, yup, that's a wrap.
Speaking of compatibility, compatibility chemistry, right? Everybody's always saying compatibility, chemistry, connection, which one is more important? Everything, maybe.
Everything's important.
Chemistry will not always lead to compatibility. Compatibility does not always mean chemistry. Connection can happen even where there's no chemistry. Connection can happen where there is chemistry. Connection does not necessarily mean compatibility. Everything matters.
Oh my God.
No, people I think on this island, they definitely are all about chemistry.
If they even know what that means.
And they oftentimes mix chemistry and compatibility together.
Yes, agreed.
We're so compatible. I was thinking, cool, there's someone who was saying that a lot. Yes, and every time they were describing that, it literally sounded like sexual chemistry or physical chemistry.
Definitely sexual.
Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it, because I'm fed up. As I will talk about it, let me not take it personal, just the show. Yeah, let's.
She's like, these Gen Z kids.
It's not even Gen Z.
This is all of us. It's all of us. Single millennials. We're all guilty and responsible.
Why do you think it's hard for people to differentiate, though, chemistry and compatibility? And why is it easy for people to think they're the same thing, basically?
Because we're busy focused on our own pheromones. Shout out Soul. Soul said I can taste. I've never heard anyone say that before, but I understood what she was saying at the same time.
She said you taste like you've been kissing everybody on this island.
Yeah, that was it. That's exactly what she meant. Something about this had no soul. Literally.
He said this was purely physical. It was not.
Yeah, I think that too. I definitely feel as though there was, like, now I saw physical chemistry and sexual chemistry between she and Sincere, but I saw their emotional chemistry like foil that, if that makes sense. Like the more they talked, the more they were talking and sort of flowing in conversation, the more excited you saw their bodies get, so to speak. And of course they needed to kiss all the time. But I think that is it, that we're not focusing on getting to know. We're focusing on how our pheromones, like we're focusing on how our body feels, like, oh my gosh, excitement, this one, that one, familiarity and whatnot. And a lot of those things are very misleading. And to be real, we're in a very much so sex-driven hookup culture,
right?
Especially in modern dating, where people don't place value anymore on truly taking time to get to know someone, and how setting, I guess, building a foundation of a connection can really open you up to a wholesome, fulfilling partnership all round. even romantically, even sexually, even spiritually, and all of that stuff, we oftentimes lead with sex first, lead with funny flutters first, lead with romance first, or at least idealized versions of what we think romantic chemistry is supposed to look like. What do you think?
I definitely agree. I think it's so easy when you're attracted to someone to focus on that rather than, focusing on the compatibility aspect, which is, are we actually gonna get along in the long term based off our beliefs, our values, our long-term goals, all that stuff. But you know why it's easy to focus on chemistry? Because it's so easy. By the time you start thinking of compatibility, you actually have to put in work to see if you're compatible with this person. So I think it's just easy to be like, I find you attractive, you find me attractive. Every time we talk, there's this spark and excitement. Like, I want to see what that's about. And then after you get there, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It was just that. Yeah.
And sometimes you also see that as boring, right?
Yeah.
Like now, Casey and Anaya, they have a good connection.
They do.
For sure. I think that, I don't know yet if they're compatible.
I don't know yet either.
I don't know yet. I do know they have a good connection and the chemistry, I think, as well, to some degree. I don't know. I'm not seeing enough to say that there is compatibility there.
I agree.
But in a connection like that, right? Or Bryce and Trinity, for example, people might say like it's boring.
Was easier, yeah.
Because at least to some degree, they do have a connection as well. Bryce and Trinity have a connection. Do we see compatibility? Not so much yet.
Yeah.
I do see chemistry, but in a different type of way.
Okay, agree.
Where it can be friendship that can develop to romantic, or it may not. And that's also okay.
Or maybe friendship, yeah.
But notice how those types of coupling oftentimes are seen as boring or maybe uninteresting or not fun or exciting and whatnot.
Yeah. I think it's so easy when we've normalized all of those like intense first meets with a partner.
Yep.
To kind of categorize that as boring rather than actually what's happening, which is like steadiness. You're learning about the person. You're trying to see if you like what you like about them, what you don't like them. It's like very healthy. And I think because a lot of people experience unhealthiness, they think this is boring because what they categorize as healthy is that excitement that's actually unhealthy. If it was healthy and if it was like gradual in the sense that we're getting to know each other, then you start, the excitement grows, right? Rather than excitement and then I'm getting to know you and I'm like, do I like you? I try and convince myself.
Yeah.
So I think it's because we've learned, we've been conditioned to do the excitement first and then get to know people and then convince ourselves that we like them rather than starting with the base. I liked when Bryce said, even though he's pissing me off right now, when he said,
Bryce is Brycing.
Bryce is Brycing, when he's called, I like that he brought to our attention, like at the end of the day, we are still the most stable because we are communicating, we are building foundation, we're trying to be friends first. Versus, I think it's so easy when you're not like lustful of a person and excited that way to be like, oh, this is what real connection should look like. It's actually not real. That's just a facade of a connection because you can start seeing the cracks when little things happen.
Of course.
So Bryce and Trinity, when things do go not well or they've had little issues, they actually communicate and they talk.
Very much so.
And I think that also lessens the expectations where it's like, I'm really genuinely getting to know this person. I'm not already in my head that this is my man.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, this is somebody I would like to be with. That's two different statements.
Can we just shout out Trinity for a second?
I love Trinity 22-year-old baddie.
She is definitely one of my top favorites.
She's definitely my client on this show.
Because she's navigating this so emotionally and mentally mature that I forget that this woman is a 22-year-old woman.
But you know what the people are saying? It's because she's used to multiple dating. You could just tell Trinity is someone that knows her worth and goes and leads with that.
Yeah.
versus
She's
somebody
functioning
else.
from self.
Yeah, she's functioning from self versus the other people that are functioning from being chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Clock that.
that's what I like about
It's so
Tracy.
attractive, and that's the funny part. Like,
I
it's
love
so
it. I love my
attractive. It's
girl.
so alluring.
Yeah.
It makes you you see why, even if, let's say, Bryce in an alternative universe may not have considered her.
Yeah.
You see why for
He's drawn to
him, he's
her.
drawn to her.
Right.
Like, who wouldn't be drawn to that kind of person? And I love seeing their connection because it could go either way, and it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter because you know that they genuinely
have a friendship and a connection there. And sometimes that's why sometimes it can be so easy for people to go from lovers to haters and strangers and enemies and whatnot, because there was never really a inbuilt foundation. A lot of people can't actually have friendship with their partners and with the people that they are romantically involved with or even building a life with.
Agree.
And I love that you can tell that it could go either way for the two of them.
Yes, and I love that
regardless of that, it is a worth and it's a valuable connection. It doesn't lose its value if it's not romantic,
right?
And it doesn't all of a sudden become not valuable enough because now it has more value because it's romantic. No,
right?
It doesn't really matter.
And I absolutely love that she's always honest, that she always tells him when she's like, that don't sit right with me. That's not, like, she's not like accepting just to make the peace connection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Speaking of which, I think Casey and Anaya probably need to do a little bit of that.
I think so, because I don't. Speaking of compatibility with them, what I am predicting is her needing multiple reassurances, and he's gonna get tired of that.
Yeah.
Because I really need her to be confident, but I get it because I don't know what I experience is there. Because it doesn't seem like the other guys have really been interested in her like that.
Yeah.
So I definitely know that she feels very vulnerable, but I just wish she was confident, because that confidence will help her realize, like, regardless, she's still good, and that means she's not gonna find her person there.
It's more about finding your person and less about, because I saw some interactions between the two of them that made me pause, because I think that, and I also want to shout out Casey, obviously, especially being a black man.
Yeah, I think
he's doing a great job. I think he's navigating a lot of those situations with at least a clear head. And of course, like, at the end of the day, these people are human beings. They're allowed to make mistakes, everybody included, even though we're shouting out some people specifically. But I really appreciate how he reassures her. I really appreciate how he communicates with her. He doesn't come off defensive, even when he had his feelings about certain things that he voiced. You said, but it is important to validate and recognize that your feelings still matter. It's very emotionally intelligent, for sure. I do think that there is probably a lot that we're yet to see between their connection, and there's a possibility, like what you said, that it will get to a point where they can't really build a healthy foundation because they didn't already start with doing that, to be fair. But then there's a little bit of projection that's happening.
I agree.
I do think that Anaya there's a little bit of projection of also what's happening around her, what's happening within her. A mix of that being projected into it, of like nitpicking at certain reactions and behaviors that he has that are just human being behavior. I've not seen anything yet that's
crazy, like, that
outrightly disrespectful or whatever.
He just plays too much. He's just a goofball.
Yeah, but we'll see. This is just part one of that talking about Love Island, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm even also curious. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I would want even our listeners as well to tell us what they would want us to talk about for maybe the part 2 version really of this, because I'm sure a lot more stuff is going to happen.
A lot more stuff would have happened by
yeah.
I anticipate chaos by the part 2 of this conversation.
I'm telling you, 24 hours into watching Love Island, I was like, whoa.
There's a lot that happens in one episode.
The producers are like whacking them.
They're producing
them. And this is why I respect people that do reality TV. I understand that, yes, people have their opinions about reality TV, and that's fine. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But there's a certain level of exposing yourself, and like putting yourself in a vulnerable position for things like this, right? To be open to scrutiny, judgment, hate. And granted, because you're putting yourself in that position, does not mean that anyone has a right to be hateful or judgmental towards you.
Right, because there's just.
But I do love and appreciate that there are people who are even giving us the opportunity to talk about them like this by doing that, because I don't know if it could ever be me.
It's so
why
easy
would I
just from outside? It could never be me. Never.
Okay.
Never. How are you feeling? I love
great conversation. Yes, great conversation.
I definitely do. I can't wait for part 2.
I can't wait for part 2 as well. So obviously we want to keep the conversation going, and to make sure that you keep the conversation going, you need to subscribe. You need to subscribe, you need to follow, you need to engage. And you can find us on Instagram, DWHYA Podcast. Find us on X, the same thing, DWHYA Podcast. You can find us on TikTok, DWHYA Podcast 1. Yes, your number 1 mental health podcast. You can find us on YouTube at DWHYA Podcast, and you can find me at paula.b.martins on any platform. How can they find you? You can find me at ab.pokola on Instagram and TikTok. All right. We want to hear from you. Keep your comments. Share your thoughts. Share your thoughts, reviews, and whatnot. Everything. Until next time. Bye. See you then. Bye. Do We Have Your Attention podcast is executively produced by Paula B. Martins and Aisha Popola, with co-production by Kyra Dosumu Ogundigbe.